Welcome to the Woman in the Mirror podcast with your host, Siobhan Robinson.
And your co-host, Lady J.
Hey, Lady J. Hey, Lady J. Hey.
I didn't even realize that I did that hey, until Huff brought it to my attention last week. He was like, I just want to say, Lady J. I was like, is that how I sound?
Take it up a notch.
Exactly. So,
you know, we always got some catchy up in here.
All the time. So, yes, welcome back, though, to the Woman in the Mirror podcast. I am so excited that you guys are joining us on today. Thank you always for tuning in week after week after week. If you have not subscribed yet to the Woman in the Mirror podcast, go ahead and, subscribe today so that you can get a notification whenever our new episode drops. So,
listen to you. Just a real podcaster, y'all. First lady out.
Thanks to the best producer
ever. And the transition queen. Holla.
Hey, Jay. Shout out to the absolute best producer ever.
For real.
So, Siobhan, yesterday I had a chance to go and visit with my Spanky, who I'm going to introduce in a minute. But I met another producer who just spoke so highly of our producer and just talked about how great Jay is. So, Jay, thank you for just all that you do for our podcast, your vision, because I always give Jay the credit. Like,
most definitely.
He asked me, like, you ever thought about doing a podcast? So,
he consulted with
Jay.
God. Yes.
Thank you, Jay. So we thank you for listening to God and, you know, having a strong sense of discernment.
That's right.
And, you know, just coming to me and wanting to make it happen. Thank you, Jay. I love you. That's my son. That's my son, and I got my chocolate drop here.
Chocolate drop at the table.
Yes,
it's a couple of us.
Little chocolate drops. And I was gone this week at attending the Gathering of the Shepherds conference. It was amazing.
Oh my goodness!
We came back. Pastor and I traveled together, and we came back just refreshed. Some new great ideas to help keep the ministry growing. I'm just excited.
So happy
to implement.
Have some takeaways.
Yes.
It looked like it was going down.
Ooh,
too. A little content.
That praise and worship just was amazing. Like, I've never seen people just flock to the front to just lift their hands and just ready to pour out. Like, it was just so good. So and it was great meeting different people. So God is good.
So happy y'all got to do that.
Absolutely, yes. So, but today. Today is a special day for me.
I'm trying to be quiet.
Today is a special day for me because we have a very, very special lady in the house at the table. And I told her I was not going to cry. And I'm happy she laughed, so I won't cry. Because when we get together, we be cackling, hollering, crying, like we haven't gone to the bathroom because we just made each other holler and laugh so hard. But today I am privileged and honored to have my Spanky in the house, Jamila Riley.
Woo! Oh yes,
I'm trying to be quiet all the time because you know I'm not a podcaster.
She was ready.
I was like, don't break any rules. Be quiet. Shut your mouth. They didn't say you were here yet. Shut up. I was being obedient.
You were being obedient. Mm-hmm. Well, we are so happy to have you here. And everybody always asks me about my earrings, right? And so my Spanky, this is her. This is she who makes my earrings. And so, Jamila, just give us an introduction of who you are.
You gotta say introduce
yourself. Right on. Introduce yourself right on. Hey.
I'm not gonna do all that today. It's already looking at me like I done told
y'all the energy in this room.
So hi guys, my name is, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamila Riley. I am a creator.
Yes you are.
Who's directed by the creator.
Come on. Okay. Come on.
I got some bars.
Some lines up here. I gotta start writing them down. Jay, you've been recording, right?
I am a creative here in the city. I am the owner and lead designer of J. Riley, which is a crochet company that specializes in encouraging women.
Come on.
Yes.
Specifically Black and brown women to show up as their authentic selves and be unique.
It does.
Yeah.
And you do
earrings and hats and scarves and accessories and home decor and
all the
everything
things.
in between.
Everything in between.
She got all over it. Yeah. It's an umbrella company, really, for many things. Many things. Yeah. I'm a comedian.
I love you.
Too.
Yes, you are. Absolutely, you are.
When I can't crochet anymore,
you
taking it on tour.
Stand up.
Yes, you are stand-up comic.
You are definitely. She is definitely a comedian.
Skills,
and tell us about your family.
I am the proud wife, y'all.
Yeah.
My husband brought the word today at church. I'm so proud of him. He did so good. It was graduation Sunday. So
Yes.
I am the proud wife of Deacon Reginald Riley Sr.
Okay.
All right. Hey,
And
brother.
I am the mother to many children. I got a lot of kids.
Got a lot of kids.
Yes, I am the mother of 6 children,
Wow.
actually. And they run the gamut from 28 to 10.
Well,
Who
yeah, they
does
do.
that? I don't know. Me, apparently. Yeah.
Me. Yeah, you're not me, her.
She said, not me, her.
Her.
I got 2.
Okay, that's it. I got 2.
I'm like, I'm
Two.
gonna
I
go
was
Yeah.
2 and through.
Good, yeah.
one and done.
You done? Look at me. You done?
That's it?
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Right now,
No
y'all. Right
shit.
now.
Okay,
Right
we'll
now.
come
Right
back
now.
to that topic.
People pleasing. I'm just
Exactly.
Because what I ain't going to do.
Listen, we're going to come
your
back to that.
profiting boys.
Jesus.
10 girls later.
Listen, okay.
My God.
I gave up. So,
Correct.
but thank you for introducing yourself.
Absolutely.
And she is just an amazing, amazing, amazing woman of God. Like
Yes.
there are no words to actually describe who you are to me. And if you know me, you know I love my
Yes.
spanking.
Girl, keep going. Move
yes.
past
If
this. We don't want all this
no,
happiness.
because I'm not gonna be sappy, but I just gotta say, like, if you don't have a friend that you can confide in, get you one.
Get
you
you
know,
one.
because it's important to have people in your life that don't share your secrets, that they are a trusted source for you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That you can call them and they gonna come. You know, so I thank you.
I'm coming.
Yeah. I know you coming. I know you coming.
I'm back in the truck.
And you gonna be who you gonna be. So this is so that leads us into today's topic
Yes.
for
Come on,
all
topic.
of you
Come on,
who are
topic.
joining us today. You know,
Jay, I'm too
we
loud.
love to do.
Y'all correct me, because you know I...
Y'all correct me.
Yeah.
You
I'm
good.
trying to be on best behavior. I got my hands folded underneath the table.
Please keep. We need all of this.
Keep
This
the
is what we
energy.
do at the table.
Yeah. So today's topic, though, we are talking about people pleasing
Mm-hmm.
and people pleasers. And so, if you're honest with yourself, you know we've all suffered, and some of us are still suffering.
Mm-hmm. Long
We're
suffering.
trying to long suffering, and some people are still trying to please other people. Right? We live to please others.
Oof.
And I too at one time was a people pleaser. Like I wanted to do everything to please other people. You know what I mean? My husband got first called to preach, and I was just trying so hard to fit in and you know, really do what everybody wanted me to do. And then when I found out, like, listen, I'm never gonna be able to please nobody, because you make this person happy over here, then this person not gonna be happy.
Right,
You
right,
have to be happy.
right.
You have to do what God has
Yes.
called you to do.
Yes.
So today we are talking about people pleasing, and the reason I wanted Spanky Jamila to come on and talk about this, because I love that you are just you. You are
Yes.
your authentic
better know.
self. You are who God created you to be, and you are just such an inspiration to so many women. So Jamila, can you open us up and talk about how would you define people pleasing?
I wrote it down.
Okay.
We didn't want to lose that.
I didn't want to lose my thoughts. I wrote it down. I said that it's doing or saying things for the sole purpose of helping others with no regard for your own well-being, thoughts, or feelings.
No
Say it again.
regard.
Okay, y'all ready to write this down?
Yes.
Doing or saying things for the sole purpose of helping others with no regard for your own well-being, thoughts, or feelings.
So you just not in the equation, basically.
Yeah.
No,
You're
you.
just totally canceled out. And I lived like that for a long time. It's uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right? It's stifling. I know that's one of your questions later, so I'm not going to go into
No,
it.
answer
It's
it.
stifling.
I'm saying,
Just-
yeah,
nope,
hey,
just
Like,
keep going.
because
Yep.
I think that when you are so focused on showing up for everybody else, you don't know how to show up for yourself, or even what that
Ooh.
looks like.
Yes.
And I think for me, because I was a mother early on, at 19, I had 2 kids. And then the year after that, I had another baby. So I was constantly showing up for other people, right? Showing up for my children, which is something that we have to do,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
As this is what we're called to do. But I think that as women, we're taught to be people pleasers. The word shows us many things that we're supposed to say and do, right? As a mother, as a spouse, as a sister, as a grandchild, as all these different roles and, you know, different hats that we wear, we're taught to be people please. I think it's kind of inherently in us, because
Right.
we
Yeah.
are caregivers, we are providers, we are helpmeets, right?
Yep.
But there is definitely a healthy balance, and I think
Yes.
that it becomes unhealthy when you begin to disregard who you are,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think that ultimately, it all boils down to, as with everything else, your relationship with God.
Absolutely.
Like,
That's it.
And I tell people this at least twice a week in the store. Once you know who you are in Jesus Christ,
Yes.
there is nothing that can shake you.
Nothing.
In terms of somebody, you can't call me ugly, you can't call me fat, you can't say I ain't got no tooth on the side, you can't say nothing to me, okay? To try and break me down. I mean, people will say it and they'll try it. And it may not be something specifically, physically. It may talk about your job performance. They may attack your family, different things. But once you are grounded in who you are and who he created you to be, and you're walking in that, baby, that's a confidence like no other. And so people pleasing, like you don't care about what other people think,
right?
What they say. You don't want to be a disappointment.
Absolutely.
I said I was going to get on here and embarrass you.
She did tell me that.
And I was pleasing my singing because I can be an embarrassment sometimes. Girl, I ain't no embarrassment because the God is not embarrassed by me. He created me just like this.
And neither is your Spanky.
Period. Thank you.
And you draw people. I don't know why. I don't know. First Lady, your connection to her. I don't know if it's in AIC in that way or even here at New Direction, but introduced to Jamila through you has blessed so many women. And that's like the gift, I think, in being able to say, no, I'm going to be me, me.
But here's the thing.
And share that with the
These
world.
earrings are one thing, right?
Yes.
And I love the fact that people wear them. And, I appreciate, especially shout out to New Direction. Because it ain't
Come on, we was all around in the middle.
She took a picture.
There go one.
But
minimum.
It's bigger than that. And
Absolutely.
the Lord showed me that.
For sure.
When I first quit my job and I started to seek what it was that he had me to do, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know if it was doing hair because I did hair for 30 years. I didn't know if it was, painting. I know it was my artwork. I didn't know if it was crocheting. I didn't know what it was. And as it narrowed it down to crocheting, I struggled with the fact that, Lord, how is this uplifting your kingdom? Like, how am I doing your work out here just crocheting every day? It didn't make sense to me. Now that's all I know because I know that my job here is to be an encourager. Right? So that's what you were talking about. That's what the gift is. It's not these. It's what he's gifted me with in being a recovered people pleaser and being able to show up uniquely myself and as my authentic self, but being able to take that and then pour it into other women.
Right.
And I always say specifically Black and brown women because, we are the least represented.
Listen,
and that's something that we need. All women need it. All people need it. Period.
People need it.
So I won't even count. It's not like I'm not going to encourage the men. I will.
Right.
I love them. I will encourage the men. However, we already know how women are viewed, how we are treated, how we are mistreated.
Listen, I was just about to say that.
But that's all in that same area of encouragement, right?
It is.
Because not only do I want to teach women how to encourage themselves, and I want to be an encouragement to you, but I want you to then take that and encourage somebody else. So like when you were talking about your mom at Juneteenth, about what she said, we don't have to. That's right, Mama, you tell her.
Broke out that mold real quick.
Have to be matchy.
Right.
Because
you say that all the time.
You
and you told me that. Like, you don't have to wear, if you want to wear pink and some green earrings,
and
some brown
and it don't mean you
an
AKA.
And do it. Exactly. It don't mean that.
Period. Don't nobody try to come for you either.
No. They don't come for me. But I love what your earrings too represent because when you put them on, you like have.
Girl, you feel confident.
The confidence runs.
Like you really have a lot of confidence. Even when I went away this weekend on the conference, people were like, this week on the conference, they're like, where did you get those earrings from? And I was like, oh, my Spanky makes these. Her name is Jamila Riley. And so then I had to give out, your Instagram and your Facebook so that they can find her. But it is, it's bigger than the earrings. You literally make us feel good about ourselves. And so thank you, you know what I mean, for doing that. But that's because you feel good about who you are and who God has called you to do.
And you get on them lives and you be.
Yes.
But you know what? And we come on them lives to watch because we can see the love you put into them. And that's an extension of you, I think. Like when we wear these, we can feel them through the earrings. We can feel you through the earrings. And we take that with us.
And it's so funny because going back to people pleasing, I think about when I first started, right? And I had a solid group of core friends. Like in the beginning, them earrings was ugly, y'all. And y'all was just wearing them.
First
and
of
I
all,
said, "Ooh, God bless them." I was writing my signature on the back. Remember
that?
that?
I remember that.
They had a denim on the back, and I was writing my signature. Jada saw a picture. She said, "You had some really faithful friends because those are ugly."
They were so cute. I still have the ones that you signed on the back.
Original.
Yeah, those are OG.
Yeah,
but I used to think like,
I still have a few pair of those.
who wants some yarn earrings? Like, no one is gonna wear like. And with certain people, wouldn't like. I would be at events and they would just kind of walk past my booth, or not. And that would bother me, but
Absolutely.
I was still in my people pleaser stage, right?
Right.
I'm like, oh, maybe I need to do something different. Maybe I should do this and this. Maybe, girl, what you need to do is make some beads. Do you work in leather? Do you this? Like telling me other things that I should be doing. And I think about that now, like if I have taken other people's advice, well intended, you know what I mean? They weren't necessarily trying to be negative or deter me from doing what I was doing, but they had well intentions, like you're able to do this, then you should be able to do this. But that's the danger, I think, of people pleasing, right?
Yes.
Listening to what other people are doing. Because had I did that, I would not be walking in what he's called me to be. I wouldn't be able to operate and be able to show him to other people through what I do every day if I would take other people's, advice.
Wow.
And so since you said that, let's go to this scripture though. Proverbs 29 and 25. And because I always love to bring back everything we're talking about to the word. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I want to just get your feedback, Jamila, off of this scripture. So Proverbs 29 and 25. In today's English version, it says, it is a dangerous trap to be concerned with what others think of you. But if you trust the Lord, you are safe. It is a dangerous trap.
Girl,
Jamila, talk to us about that dangerous trap.
Because think about it. If I was telling Siobhan before we started recording, like I literally get dressed based on how he tells me to get dressed.
Right. Yes,
I put on the earrings he tells me to put on. And it's amazing that throughout the day, especially if I'm moving about, like throughout the city,
talk about
and I'm able to spark up a conversation with somebody because I have these particular earrings on and they'll talk to me. And then a connection is built, or whatever he had for me to do that day, it was accomplished because I was obedient that morning and put on the earrings.
Exactly.
So the dangerous trap is when you're not listening to him, but you're listening to other people. You're missing out on what he's called you to say and do, right? You're not going to be effective in the kingdom because you're not showing up for yourself or for him. Showing up for
other people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's
so good.
And I'm not going.
That is a dangerous trap. Do you hear me? Trying to please. So that was Proverbs 29 and 25 for anybody listening. Write that down because this is all biblical. We are not making up stuff, right?
Ooh, can I read the NIV?
It is a dangerous trap. Yes, read.
It says, fear of man will prove to be a snare.
A snare.
That don't even sound good. But whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. And I want to be safe. Okay?
Yes.
I want to be safe.
I want to be safe.
And it's so amazing though, because it may not feel safe, right? In listening to God versus listening to what man says or what we're taught we're supposed to be doing. Because that happens for me a lot. Being in business as an entrepreneur, you have business experts and people who are experts in their field, right? And so you're supposed to do X, Y, Z, right? You're supposed to move this way, this way, this way. You're supposed to do these things.
Right.
And a lot of times, my spirit be like,
you don't want to do that. No.
Because God said.
Don't do that. For example, even raising certain prices of mine.
Right.
I'm going to raise them when he tells me to raise them. As he tells me to raise them. If he tells me to raise them.
If he tells you to, right.
You know what I'm saying? And for a lot of things that I do and a lot of decisions I make, it doesn't make sense to the world. But I've gotten past the point of having to prove why I'm doing things a certain way or why I'm not doing things a certain way. Because what I know is that me being obedient to him and being a God pleaser has gotten me to this place versus listening to what other people are instructing.
To other people, exactly.
Well, Andre Lee Ellis said, I'm going with the God plan.
Okay, listen, because at the end of the day, people don't even know the plans that God has for them, but they got a plan for you. And so we can never take what other people want us to do over what God wants us to do. Because let's be clear, people going to always have expectations of you that they don't have for themselves, though. Because they don't mind putting expectations on you that they don't, have for themselves. But I love that you gave that version of it too, because fear of man, fear, do you hear me? Fear of man will prove to be a snare. I heard somebody say, never say yes to people because you're afraid to say no. And so we got to make sure.
That was good. Dropping that nugget. She just said it too light.
Say it again.
Never say yes to people because you're afraid to say no. No should be in your vocabulary, right? And we never say no. And when you talk about women, we have a hard time with trying to do everything. But we can't do everything. And we cannot do everything well. And something is going to lack if we're trying to do everything, right?
Exactly.
So saying no does not mean that something is wrong with you or that you're bad.
They gonna think it do though.
They gonna think, but you got to let them think what they gonna think.
You gonna
let them think what they
Dr.
gonna think.
Seuss up in here.
And you got to move on, right?
Yeah.
So I love that fear of man. Yes.
What I was hearing when you were reflecting on that was discernment. And I know that came up, like, how do you get to that point? How do you hear God more than you hear other people?
Girl, you have to tune it out.
Yes.
And what does that look like?
What does that look like?
It comes through developing a relationship with him. You know, and my husband talked about that this morning. In his graduation address at church, you know, being consistent.
Yes.
I think that's a big part.
So whether that's in prayer, whether that's being in his word,
absolutely,
you know, surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, right? That's going to pour into you and that's going to feed. My prayer when I first joined church, I said, God, I need you to bless me with friends and people who want to live for you.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. And I didn't really know what that looked like. You know what I'm saying? But I knew where I wanted to go, how I was going, how I wanted to go. And so that was my prayer. And so fast forward to today, I'm so grateful for the people. I was going to say women, but it's men too.
Yes, absolutely.
Placed around me.
Yep.
In addition to my spouse.
Yes.
That he's placed around me that cover me.
Yeah.
And that pray for me. And that genuinely love me.
Genuinely.
And to the outside looking in, it can be unbelievable, right? Like you can't possibly have that many friends. Like you call everybody a friend. Mind your business. First off, just mind your business.
Help me with my unbelief.
You know what I'm saying? No, for real. Because I have that discernment, right?
Yes.
Because I've spent that time and developed this relationship with God. And I can hear from him clearly.
Yeah.
Even people who are close to me, I know if something is off, right? I know if something is wrong. And God doesn't necessarily pull me away from people because something is off or wrong. He may have me in that specific place for a specific reason, for that specific time. Right.
Yep.
So I think that as we are consistent in developing our relationship with him, we're more sensitive to him showing up, to hearing his voice, whether it be an audible voice. Because when he told me to quit my job, I heard him
loud and clear.
Right, right. Yeah,
I had more than enough to make it with my hands, and it didn't make sense, right, to the outside world. But I know what I heard, and I know what he was showing me, because then he'll show up through people.
Yes.
Right? He was leaving me. I remember I was doing laundry one day, and this was probably maybe 2 years after I had quit my job. And I was like, Lord, I'm about to go back to work. I'm broke. Over here, we hungry. I need a job.
We ain't begging, but we
ain't begging, but we hungry. I said, I'm about to get a job. And I was doing laundry, and I looked down on the floor by the washing machine as I was bending down to pick something up. I don't know where this came from. It was a little piece of paper, like a tag, and it said trust. It was so crazy. But it wasn't because I knew what it was.
Right,
you know,
right.
Oh, okay,
guys. I hear you guys.
I hear you.
I hear you guys. Don't go back.
Man, what?
Everywhere.
And
so that just heightens your sense of discernment, right?
Yes.
Because I'm like, God,
you
what you say? Because my prayer is always, Lord, let me be sensitive to you, wherever you are, however you show up. Allow my heart and my mind to be able to receive you.
That's
wherever you are, however you show
tangibles.
up. Honey, in nature, baby, the birds. What the bird doing? Okay. Yeah, my pastor was talking about hummingbirds today. Honey, listen, it's gonna show up. And that just heightens your sense of discernment. Like
yes,
it's like you're very sensitive to hearing from him.
Can't deny it.
Can't at all.
Can't deny it.
Yeah. And the beauty in that is what I really love is like now I walk with the spirit of expectancy. So I expect it.
Right.
He's gonna show up.
Listen.
But the beautiful thing is for other people to see it. And when he'll put you in a situation where people on the outside have to say,
that ain't
nobody but God.
Nobody but God.
Nobody but God. Nobody but God.
Nobody.
Yeah, because that's the only way I'm paying this rent. Nobody but God. Amen.
Woo. No, for real.
Yeah.
That's how what Pastor talked about blessing in the sermon today. Somebody getting blessed because they see something. Like you can't deny it because they see it in somebody's life. That helps you with your unbelief because it's like, wow, the boy with the seizures.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you have that breakthrough and it's like, it was a long time, but I'm gonna help you with the unbelief by blessing you with this now. And it took a while, and I know you talked about that too before we were prepping. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's the hard part is you get to a point, you're practicing it, and then you slip up, and you're like, oh, I don't fell back into it a little bit. And we do.
We slip up. We fall.
But jump back on.
But get back on wherever you at.
That's a part of the journey. And I'm so grateful you said that, because some people think you hear it in a sermon, you're going to go out and do it, and your life's going to be changed this way. Please. But it takes time.
I can tell you right now, it's not like every day. I ain't been in the Word every day this week.
Right.
I have not been in the Word every day this week. But when you know better, you do better, right? So I know that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So what ways can I be more intentional?
Exactly.
What ways can I set this time aside to do the things that I need to do, right? You're human.
You are
so
human.
It's not to say that you're going to do this and you're going to be perfect.
Right.
And it's, My husband said today, consistency is not to be confused with perfection.
Listen.
That's good. Y'all better, I hope y'all writing this.
I'm
going to write it when I listen.
Because that's the thing. A lot of times, we strive for perfection, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we have to just be consistent. That's what God wants us to be. He just wants us to be faithful.
Right.
He don't
say
well
done,
to be perfect
because you're gonna fail. I think striving for perfection is a trap too. Because
it is.
You're never going to be perfect.
You're never going to be
I can't strive for perfection. I can strive to be the best Jamila that God has called me to be.
Absolutely.
Striving every day.
Honey, because if we try to be perfect, we try to be Jesus, and I don't want to.
Come on here.
Come on.
Listen,
we wouldn't need him.
We wouldn't need him.
That is
I tell my daughters that all the time, even like with their schoolwork and just as they're getting older and going out to the world, like just do your best.
Just do your best.
And your best don't look like
baby
somebody else's best. My best don't look like Siobhan's best. My best don't look like your best. My best is my best.
Baby,
and nobody can tell me when I'm trying my best. Only I know.
That's
and
it.
God knows.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? My best might be an old jogging suit.
Listen.
But I'm going to put these J. Rileys on and put some shea butter on.
That's it.
And I'm going to show up.
Do you hear me?
That's all I got for the
That's
people.
A whole new level of confidence, though.
Confidence, yes, indeed.
Do you hear me? That is a whole new level. And what peace, though? Let's talk about this peace, though, Jamila, because we talked about this before we started the podcast. Let's talk about the peace that comes when you can break free of trying to be a people pleaser. Talk about that. Speak to that peace.
She look at that peace.
I know.
That peace. Shout out to my mama. Hey, mama.
Hey, Mama Pam.
I love Mama Pam.
Man.
Let's give her a shout out.
We did love shout
out. It feels so good because people, like we talked about, people have expectations of you, right? You're supposed to show up to this. You're supposed to do this.
Child.
On, here we go. When my son passed away, this is how you grieve. This is what it looks like. This is how the service should go. This is what you should wear. This is how this. This is how the anniversary. Listen, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
And that was like the biggest test. Like,
oh, I bet.
I'm standing on that. I'm just doing what he said to do.
Absolutely.
I cannot be concerned about what anybody else thinks, what anybody else feels, what anybody has to say, because somebody is always going to have something to say. And not even just in that situation, just every situation, right? Every decision you have to make, every role that you have to show up in your life.
People are always going to give their opinion.
They always got something to say.
It's all the time.
Girl, you can't care about that.
You can't control what they say.
When you don't care, it allows you to move so free.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it allows you to honor yourself. I know I'm supposed to go to this event, but guess what, sis? I'm a little sad today. I don't feel like it, so I'm not going. Because the flip side is that is you push yourself to go, and then you leave feeling worse than when you first went. Nope, I'm really into honoring my feelings.
Yeah.
And if I'm not being, disrespectful to God or, myself, my spouse, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
So it's freeing, right? It allows you to just honor how you feel. I don't want to wear a dress to the floor. I don't even like blazers like that.
And don't.
She said, and don't.
Because my dress
I don't want to wear a church hat. I don't want to wear this uniform to church. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things I'm thinking about that come to the top of my head from my personal life. I don't want to do that. And then why do I have to do? Who said this is what I have to do? Who said that I have to eat eggs for breakfast? Why I can't eat
a taco?
A Polish sausage. I don't eat meat, y'all, but
I like tacos.
Why you can't eat a taco? Since
I do.
You can and do
and will.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And within the last month, I've really been working hard at breaking free from expectations or things that we're taught to do a certain way.
Come on, talk